And that is the one thing that has been lost in all of the conversation, all of the chatter, the A.J. Brown frustration. I think he danced around the edges of it last week when he was saying at his locker, we need to improve in an offense, and it isn't enough to just win football games. That's a Band-Aid. We need to be improving. Is there a disconnect between what the Eagles are trying to do offensively and what Jalen Hurts ultimately does when he has the ultimate discretion of the ball in his hands? You can say whatever you want to the quarterback, but once the play starts and the ball's in your hands, you're in charge of that football, and you determine where the ball is going to go and what's going to happen on that play. And there isn't a damn thing they can do about it other than remove you from the game.
Yeah, it's a tough thing, right? It is a tough thing. The Philadelphia and that offense, right? I mean, I think if you had free agent receivers out there right now, I think a lot of them would go, I wouldn't want to go to Philadelphia. I don't want to go play there. I mean, man, I'll never get the ball. It's a little bit like what we used to hear with like maybe Lamar Jackson early on in his career, right? It was that type of thing. So, yeah, there's a little bit of that. You've heard me say this. I mean, you've heard me say it a lot, right? I don't want to beat down a dead horse here a little bit. But, yes, I mean, the potential of that offense and it doesn't reach its potential. That's the problem. And the number one problem with why it doesn't reach the potential is the quarterback. The quarterback has handcuffed them as far as what they're allowed to do on the offensive side of the ball. He's hijacked the offense, and so when the people go, oh, wait, it's not that creative, they're not helping him out, I want to go, no, it's not, because he won't let them do different stuff. I mean, I know that from enough people throughout the years, 100%. He wants things the way they are, and that's it. That's it. And then on top of that, he doesn't, there's, you know me, it's about what's there to be had, right? That's the big thing. And what's there to be had, a lot of games you come back and you go, oh my gosh, I mean, A.J. Brown was open, Devontae Smith was open. We stood in the pocket and people are open, and you were supposed to take a 5-step drop and just throw it, and the guy was open, but instead you sat there and hopped around and then just looked somewhere to run or scramble or do something of that. So that to me is where, of course, A.J. Brown, and we saw Devontae Smith, and we saw him mic'd up last week, basically going, just throw me the damn ball, man. Like, I mean, it's all there. And so because of that, and then, of course, these guys know how the offense is coached and where the ball's supposed to go against certain coverages and all that, too. The receivers know. So they're getting done with the game going, man, I was supposed to get the ball there. I was supposed to get the ball here. Against this coverage, I'm supposed to get the ball. And it doesn't happen. And then it trickles down to the offensive coordinator and the play callers going, well, let's be careful what we call, because he doesn't seem comfortable throwing those plays or doing that. So let's be even more vanilla and basic. And that's where, again, the offense just has not reached its potential. And as you know, and as I always say, this is the best, most talented offense in football. It's ridiculous that they have games like we've seen the last few weeks or at the start of the year and all of that. And yes, to me, the quarterback is the number one problem in that issue.
Gets back to what we were saying on Monday when we were offering constructive criticism for the decision of Dan Campbell, the Lions head coach, to go for it.
Yeah.
Not once, not twice,
right.
Not 3 times, but 5 times on 4th down, instead of putting the Eagles in a position where they had to show what they can do with the football at a time when it felt like their offense was teetering. And it was one bad performance away from a full-blown primetime at-home boo Santa Claus. And I'm not criticizing. Sometimes Santa Claus needs to be booed. There were a few times when I was a kid, I'd like to go kick Santa's ass for what was under the tree. I'd like to say what the little boy in The Sopranos said to Santa. Frankly, I have some memories of those kinds of Christmases, Santa. So anyway, I've digressed. But I just don't want to be criticizing my new friends in Philadelphia gratuitously.
Yeah.
My point is this.
Right.
My point is this. The Eagles were on the ropes offensively, and the Lions gave them a lifeline. The issues are still there. They only scored 16 points. It wasn't pretty. It's still not clicking. And they go to Dallas this weekend. And, if the Cowboys get a lead and you let Quinnen Williams go for – Quinnen Williams was a godsend for the Dallas Cowboys. Like, the Eagles may step on a rake down in Dallas this weekend, and then they go home for the Black Friday game against the Chicago Bears. Oh, boy, that's going to be an interesting afternoon if the Philadelphia Eagles somehow lose to the Cowboys. But the point is this, and I think this dovetails exactly with what you're saying. The issues on offense have not gone away simply because they won. And that gets back to last week's debate, Chris.
Right.
And it was it took me until Friday when Michael Hawley helped it all crystallize for me, because on Wednesday after the show, there was the A.J. Brown 8-minute monologue for the most part. He was asked a few questions at his locker, and he said a lot of things. But Michael Hawley helped me understand the key was A.J. Brown was saying it's not enough to win, and that was a direct rebuttal of Jalen Hurts after the 10-7 win at Green Bay, where he basically said, all that matters is winning. A.J. Brown says, no.
Yeah.
We need to be improving.
Yeah.
Because we win these games now and we're not improving, we're not going to make it to where we want to go.
That's right. There's got to be a standard. That's what he's saying. He knows. He's going, man, it's dicey. Even though we're the most talented team in football, we play like this. Is it realistic that we can go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl doing this? You know, that's it's a flip of a coin whether you can do that. Do you think Tom Brady and the Patriots were like, well, we just won, baby. That's all we wanted to do, just win. Like if Tom Brady and them won and it was 13-10, yeah, they won, but they were the type of team where it was like, man, on Wednesday, did they win or lose? Because they seem all pissed off, sorry, London, because they didn't execute and play good on the offensive side of the ball. And Brady would have been all over everybody, or Peyton Manning, or anybody else that way. So, yeah, that's not really an acceptable answer, especially when there's games where you go, wait, we lost this game, or we were in a dogfight, and this team's not even in the same stratosphere as us as a football team. But the problem that happens is this, too. They keep winning, right? They're the masters of winning because they're the best team in football. Nobody has the roster the Philadelphia Eagles have, right? As we said Monday, you sit there, oh, man, the big, bad Detroit Lions come on the field. They don't look like nothing compared to the Philadelphia Eagles when you see them come on the field. Then there's this aspect. So they keep winning, so that kind of just massages things a little bit. And then what I have, too, and I have people like when I do radio and all this, and they go, well, look at his stats. He's fourth in football in quarterback rating. He's thrown 16 touchdowns and 1 interception. And I go, whoa. Let's pump the brakes a little bit here. Let's look at the broader thing. First off, they feast on the poor a lot of the times in their pass game, right? You can go through their schedule, and you go through the first 4 games, and you go, all of it is very underwhelming, below average quarterback play, except for the fourth quarter against the Rams, where they won that game and had a shamrock up their butt, right? Broncos game, underwhelming. They lose to the Giants. He makes some plays and throws, but throws some horrible interceptions and should have had more plays in that game. Okay, now we play Minnesota, who can't stop the run, and we got one-on-one, so we threw it deep, and I feasted on them with one-on-ones. The Giants and their disaster off the debacle in Denver, they catch them, and if you go back and watch the game, they had a few game plan plays where guys are just wide open, right? But now it's back to, we got to play good teams again. And it becomes, the offense is pitiful. It's pitiful. So that's where quarterback rating and stats, again, you got to look at the context a little. Like holding the ball and taking a sack is a horrible play when A.J. Brown is open for a 15-yard gain. But yet we hold the ball and don't throw it and massage the stats that way, and then we look at it and go, oh, look, his quarterback's rating's really good. And I know, anybody that watches football, you go, that quarterback play is less than. It's less than what's expected in the NFL out of a quarterback throwing in the pocket. So he's the 4th-rated quarterback in football and quarterback rating, and I would go, he really has no business being in that conversation with the other guys that have quarterback ratings that are, in that stratosphere there. And that's where it gets lost in context, too. And that's where I don't feel like the national media totally realizes it, because they just see win and they see quarterback rating and they go, oh, it's not that bad. And then people are afraid to get on him or make a bad point about him because you have to deal with the Eagles Mafia online whenever you do that and deal with that too. So people are just like, But it's starting to trickle out in Philadelphia finally. Now you're Seth Joyner and Hugh Douglas, and we just talked about, the old beat reporter there in Philadelphia. There's been other beat reporters that came out yesterday, right, who have all now come out and are starting to go, I'm starting to hear that the biggest problem in the organization is Jalen Hurts. And it's like, yes, we know Florio and Simms, especially Simms, have been trying to tell everybody this for 2 years now, and nobody wants to hear it.
Leave me out of it. And by the way, you can find him at CSimsQB on Twitter right now.
They found me.
Philadelphia. Have at it.
Right.
Have at it. Well, just a reminder, I'll also give him your address. I'll dox you. I'll hold that over you. If you ever cross the line with me, I will dox you, and all those Eagles fans will show up at your house. I'm just kidding. I would never do that. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.